Chairman, Ms. Richards, if the videos were selectively edited, heavily edited, if this was entrapment, if this was all untrue, then why'd you apologize?
Well, Congressman, first, I think everyone has agreed they were heavily edited, and that certainly I think even the perpetrator.
My question is, why'd you apologize?
Perpetrator has agreed they were done undercover. I spoke with Dr. Nucatola, who was featured in one of the videos, and I thought it was important, in my opinion, it was inappropriate to have a clinical discussion of in a non-confidential, non-clinical setting, and I told her that.
What were you apologizing for?
That she used, I think, in my judgment, it was bad judgment to have a clinical discussion in a non-clinical setting, and that's.
I mean, the first video comes out July 14th. 2 days later, you go and issue an apology, and you said this: "It's unacceptable. I personally apologize for the tone and statements."
Well, so and that's what I felt like.
No, here's the question. Which statements were you apologizing for?
It was really the situation that she was in, and I believe that.
But
and again, at that.
But Ms. Richards, that's not what you said. You said, "I apologize for statements." I'd like to know. I think the American people like to know which statements in the video were you apologizing for? Were you apologizing for statements that were untrue? Because you normally don't do that in life. If something's untrue and false, you don't apologize for that. You correct the record. But that's not what you said. You said, "I personally apologize for the tone and statements," and I'm asking you a simple question. There was only one video at the time you issued this statement. When you did your video, there was only one video. I want to know, in that video that you were referencing, which statements were you apologizing for?
Well, Congressman, at the time, as you, I'm sure, remember, that video was released. We'd had no time to actually evaluate how much editing had happened. It was days later that we were able.
Which true statements in that video were you apologizing for, Ms. Richards?
I was reflecting that on that video, not any particular statement, that given did not reflect the compassionate care that we provide at Planned Parenthood.
That raises an important question. So is what you said in your video untrue? You weren't really apologizing for statements made?
I was apologizing for what was said in a non-clinical setting, in a non-appropriate way, and I don't believe.
You can't have it both ways. You can't say I'm apologizing for statements in one video and then not tell us what those statements were.
I don't believe that Dr. Nucatola.
Or you can do this. You can say, you know what I said in the video I produced wasn't true. I really wasn't apologizing for any statement. You can tell us that here on the record if you'd like, but it can't be both positions. It has to be one. And I want to know which one is it. And frankly, the American people want to know which one is it.
In my judgment, it was inappropriate to have that conversation in a non-clinical setting, in a non-confidential area about clinical matters,
okay.
and I've told that to Dr. Nucatola. I will also tell you,
why didn't you say
Dr. Nucatola.
Why didn't you say that? This wasn't a reporter sticking a mic in front of your face. This was a video you produced to send out to the whole world.
We may just, Congressman, we may just have to agree to disagree.
Why didn't you say that?
We may just have to agree to disagree on this matter.
I don't think we're agreeing to disagree. I think you're not answering my question.
Well, I've answered it, I think, repeatedly here, and I want to say also for the record
Mr. Chairman,
that Dr.
Real quickly, just for the record, but this to me is critical, because at the moment you did this, there was only one video, and then you do your video in response to that video, and you made a specific statement. I'm sure your staff worked on this, you prepared this. This probably went through a number of drafts, and you were very specific in what you said. I apologize for the tone and statements. So there's obviously statements in that first video that were accurate, that you didn't think were needed to be out there, and you wanted to apologize for it, and you wanted that message heard by the American people. And I'm asking you a simple question. In that first video, tell me what you needed to apologize for.
That highly edited video that now, of course, as we have gotten further, and I've read
that
pages
highly edited video that you apologize for.
Pages now, excuse me, I have now read hundreds of pages of all of the things that were said, and what is clear now, that there were many, I think 10 times during that conversation
It's a
in which
it's a-
Dr. Nucatola
Ms. Richards,
expressly
it's
said.
a simple question.
Well,
It
I've
is
answered it.
It is as simple and
I
as
made-
basic as it gets. You don't apologize for things that are inaccurate. You apologize for things that are accurate. And you said there were statements in that first video that I want to apologize for. I'm asking you to tell this committee chairman, this committee, and the American people, what were those statements?
Well, I think I've already made my explanation, and just for the record, Dr. Nucatola is an excellent doctor.
I'm
and
not
I'm really
saying she's
great.
not. I'm asking
Well,
what
I
you
just
said.
like, but
Gentleman's time.
you've had your
Gentleman's time is
moment. I
expired.
wanted to make sure that you understood that she provides incredibly compassionate care, and I'm proud of her.